guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to review this amazing little camera, the Olympus E-M10 Mark III. Well, there are a couple of reasons as to why you should consider them. I would definitely try to call them out one by one, and post which I will actually review it with this amazing little speed booster, that is a Viltrox EF2 Micro Four Third speed booster, which is pretty cheaply available compared to the Metabone speed booster. So putting that aside, let's get into it. So the first and foremost reason as to why you should consider this is the price point. Well, you will get this for about 300 bucks off of eBay. I've got this as a manufacturer refurbished one with a 90 days warranty from Olympus for a pretty less price of like 300 bucks. That is a pretty good thing for the features that it gives. So the number one is the price. You can get this body for 300, or off of Craigslist or somewhere you can even get it for lesser price, is what I can confidently say about. But I've got this from eBay. I'll try to put that in the description below. You can try to go there, do some best offer, and you can get it for a pretty cheap price. The second thing, this camera has the 4K video recording. Well, the 4K video recording off of this camera isn't that great, or you will not feel that kind of a sharpness out of this camera, even though you pair it with a pretty good lens. I've used it with the Sigma 18-35mm, and the results were not that good. I mean, you can say it's much better than other cameras in the market for this price point. I think for this price point, there's no other camera in the market that can give you that. So that is pretty good. I would say, like, in the ratio of from out of 100, I would rate it like 80% or 80 above. Not above that, but approximately 80 is what I can give the rating for it. You can also record the video in 1080 or the full HD with some different bit rates, but that option isn't allowed in the 4K recording. The third point that is really impressive about this camera is that it has that image stabilization. So this camera has 5-axis image stabilization. Pair it up with a pretty good lens from Olympus or Panasonic, and you get that amazing lens and as well as the body stabilization working together to give you that amazing handheld shot. The fourth and the most important thing is the battery life. Well, even though this camera can do 4K and do raw output of the photos and other in-body image stabilization and few other things, this camera has pretty amazing battery life. I mean, I was able to use one battery for about the whole shoot that I was doing for friend, and everything turned out well. I took like somewhere around 10 GB, or approximately I believe it was like 4 to 5 GB of photos that I've taken with it, with the Sigma 18-35 and the Viltrox SpeedBooster attached to it, and the battery consumption was pretty much okay. But here and there you'll get some kind of a problem, because this is an adapted lens, that too with the Viltrox. It gives some of the other times a blocker, because the camera just stops responding and you have to just turn off the whole camera, turn it on. So that's kind of expected, because it's not a native lens. You have to compromise with some features. So the fourth point is that amazing battery life. I do recommend you to also get some other third-party batteries like Power Extra. You can get it for like 13 bucks off of Amazon warehouse, because you need not spend so much of money on to camera accessories, because they work. All the electronics that you buy, except for high-end products, you can go with the warehouse deals. The fifth and the last reason as to why you should consider this camera is that it's really portable. It's like travel friendly. You can go around with ease with this camera, with spare batteries, with spare lenses and all, and it just fits in pretty fine in one bag. I was able to use this only the camera alone with the Panasonic 42.5mm f1.7 lens for the whole day when I actually went out with my family. And I really didn't need any other lens because this also has some pretty good zoom in features that you can use. I believe they are like digital zoom, not like the electro optical zoom or anything as such. You can use that feature and get some pretty good results out of it. So these are the 5 major things as to why I consider or suggest you to get this lens instead of buying the Panasonic Lumix G7, which actually sells for more than this. You can get this for 300, and the body alone for the Lumix G7 will cost you about like 350 or 400 off of eBay. So this is much cheaper than that, and also is rich in the features, but you may have to compromise here and there. I believe Olympus may release some firmware upgrade sometime in future, as they have done with the Olympus E-M Mark II, I think, E-M10 Mark II, yeah. Now putting that aside, let's actually see if this works well with this. I will be actually putting some video samples at the end of this video, but just stick on now and see how it works. I'm gonna use my tiny little lens, the Canon Nifty 50, with this Viltrox SpeedBooster, and then we can see how it works. So as you know, it's quite simple. Just align this. As you know, it's quite simple. Just align this red dots, and I should be able to fit that in. So that's how it looks. Now I'm gonna mount the 15mm lens onto this. Pull this cover off. So to just make you get the feel, this is how it looks. It just looks like an APS-C. I mean, from here it looks as if it's a full frame camera, but probably you may get the APS-C kind of a look alike. I'm gonna align this red dots, and there we go. So this is how it looks. Isn't that cool? So even with this lens, this camera is like pretty small. You can take it around pretty easily for like family events and here and there, and the results are like pretty astonishing. So right now let me just turn on the camera, and I'm actually taking this in the auto mode right now, so that, you know, manual mode is king, but just want to show you how it looks. The autofocus, so I may not be able to show that on the screen, but I'll just try to, you know, point it out some object, take some photo, and that way you can get the beep sound, assessing how the autofocus works. So I'm just putting my hand in front of the camera lens so that it should focus on my hand, and it does. So my conclusion about this camera itself are like pretty great. As I said, for $300 I believe you will not get anything as such a feature rich camera for like $300, and that too it's an interchangeable lens camera body, and for the same price you may not even get a point and shoot these days, which has so many features built into it. So if you're just a photographer who's just starting your career into, or at least have the aspirations of getting into photography, then I do recommend you to get this one because of the price point, the features it has, and it's kind of an all-rounder is what I say. So now let's just actually for some samples that were taken with the Sigma 18 to 35mm and as well as the Canon 50mm f1.8 STM lens, then we'll see or probably I would leave that to you to decide if you are really happy with the results. I'll also do some photo or the video samples in the upcoming demo or upcoming video. So just for now, this way the initial review is what I can call. I'll put some video samples, not practical one, but just indoor on my desk to just make you feel how it looks like. And by the way, if you wanted to look at the video samples that were shot with this body and the SpeedBooster and the Sigma 18-35, just go watch my previous video about the Tascam DR40 that was entirely shot on this. For now, I will just put some small video samples like 10 to 15 seconds shot with both Sigma 18-35 and as well as the Canon 50mm f1.8. Then you can decide if it is really worth investing in this camera body. And by the way, I'll also do